Hi, my name is Kate and I'm from the UK. I'm 36 years old. I came to Ayushakti this time. It's my fourth Panchakarma at Ayushakti in 10 years now. And I came here this time because I've been suffering for around about 8 years now with problems of the liver, jaundice, not quite knowing what the jaundice was, why it was happening. Low energy, depression, anxiety, sort of coming off from that. And then also more recently in the last 2 years I've been having some eye problems, more caused by my own stupidity than by anything else, but hopefully that can be fixed and healed. And recently, just before I came to Ayushakti, I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease. They think that it might be primary biliary cirrhosis, which is of the liver, but that's yet to be actually diagnosed. Still, there is an autoimmune problem going on, which I've also been working with Ayushakti on during this trip. I've been here for now. It was a 5-week Panchakarma, and I've spent an extra 3 weeks here on another set of remedies. I met Ayushakti via a friend of mine. About 12 years ago he mentioned Ayushakti to me, and at that point I was just starting to become interested in Ayurveda, and I wasn't doing that well health-wise at that point either. So I came, and after that first Panchakarma in 2004, I just felt like a completely new person and realized that this was really something that I needed to do on a regular basis. I dedicated myself to the diet, and I dedicated myself to the herbs, and really saw an enormous improvement in my health. Over the last 4 Panchakarmas I've learned that whilst the Panchakarma is excellent, I've been to several other clinics in India. I've done 6 Panchakarmas in total. The 2 that I did outside of Ayushakti, the one was good, it was very, very beneficial. On a different level, it was more of a relaxation than an actual clinical treatment. I feel that Ayushakti is very good on a clinical level. And the other one was actually purely damaging. I had to come back to Ayushakti 2 months after that Panchakarma, and they helped fix me because that Panchakarma really did damage. So I implore you to be very careful where you choose to go if you choose to do Panchakarma. I would now only come to Ayushakti for a clinical level of Panchakarma. If I was very healthy and didn't have any symptoms and just wanted to have some nice massages and relax and feel refreshed, I might go to a natural place and have some nice spa treatments, but this is not a spa environment, this is a clinical environment, and they work on very serious problems successfully here. So anyway, I was referred here by a friend of mine and came here in 2004, again in 2006, again in 2008, and then I've had a few years break and I'm back here now again in 2013. And I hope to come back again in about a year or a year and a half's time. My experience of Panchakarma is you've got the 3 weeks or the 4 weeks or the however much time you can dedicate to being here, and that's wonderful, but the most important stuff is not just coming here and being good while you're here, but trying to prepare for the Panchakarma so that your body is as ready as it can be before you get here. So following, if you've got some remedies before you get here, that's great. Following the diet before you arrive, that's really important. And then while you're here, dedicate yourself to the process. You see the doctors, be at your treatment, or take the herbs, follow the diet. All those things are important. And then most important of all is to follow the diet for at least 3 months when you get back, and try and continue it throughout your time, because that's when, in my experience, the real benefits start to accrue and show themselves. I found that I don't always feel, particularly this time, I don't always feel phenomenal when I walk out the door here. But certainly within 3 to 6 months' time, I start to feel like a real change in not only my physiology and how I look, but very much in how I feel on an emotional and mental level. Oftentimes I feel an enormous sense of clarity, and my work becomes a lot easier to do, and I just feel emotionally a lot more balanced than otherwise. Personally, I've found that my body doesn't enjoy living on the Panchakarma diet forever. I'm an extremely healthy eater. I eat organic food, and I'm really careful about my diet, but my body doesn't enjoy living on just mung beans and vegetables and rice, but I think it's an excellent diet for the time that you're doing the cleansing. So I need to include some meat in my diet, and that's just what my body thrives on. I would say this time's been a really tough Panchakarma for me. I'm dealing with much bigger problems than I've had in the past. So in the past I've arrived, and after 5 weeks I've felt like literally $1 million, and I've walked out the door and thought, that's it, I'm like going for gold. And I arrived here in really bad shape this time. It's taken me 2 months to get to the point where I'm feeling kind of normal. But I think I have a lot more work to do when I get home. So I would say that I'm 60% better. I'm definitely a lot better. I just understand that it's going to take longer, that I need to, particularly this time, I need to stick on the herbs for much longer than I have in the past. In the past I took the herbs for maybe 6 months and then kind of slid off them and just ate a healthy diet, but I think this time I need to stay on the herbs until I'm basically better, and work with Ayush Shakti until I've sorted my problems out. I've heard so many wonderful stories here about people who have gotten better that I have faith that it will work. And a message, well, I guess there's quite a few messages already in there. For me, the most important thing is that not to expect that you come here and just like you lie around and people just fix you for you. You go to the doctor, they feel your pulse, they tell you what all your problems are, you go to the therapist, they massage you, and that you really have to do nothing. It's not like you just pay for someone to fix you. I strongly believe that you need to be present. Not just present, but you need to be informed about your condition. You need to do homework before you come here. Don't just think that these doctors are magicians, that they'll feel your pulse and know everything about you. They do some pretty miraculous things with pulse, but I think it's really wise, and I've learned from the past, it's wise to have tests done before you come, and come with those test results and give these doctors all the information that you've got about your health condition. And realize that while you're here, you also need to feel what's going on in your own body. Don't just expect a doctor to feel your pulse and be like, oh, we're going to give you these pills today and that diet and you're just going to be grand, because you've got to work with them. It's a partnership. Go to the doctor and say if something doesn't feel right, or if you think that something worked really, really well, and why don't we carry on with that? I found particularly Dr. Smita and Dr. Swapna wonderful in terms of engaging with me in how to customize my Panchakarma process to me, and not just to a process that someone's decided for me. I think that's really important. And one last thing why I think that is important is because when you leave here, you don't have a Vaidya downstairs to feel your pulse and tell you what to eat and tell you how much to sleep and whatever things they might prescribe to you. And you need to start to really listen to your own body, understand when you need to take it easy, when you need to take some baka oil, or whatever it is that's going to bring you into better balance. And you're never going to learn that unless you start with that process of looking deep inside at Ayush Shakti. This is the perfect opportunity to do it. So my message is to be a part of your Panchakarma.